Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back, guys. This is going to be part 2 of our easy crossbow arrow tuning, and what we're going to talk about today is nock tuning, so stay tuned. Before we get started, real quick, guys, I got to give a shout out to Troy Fowler, aka the Ranch Fairy, and just another thank you, Troy. He's the one that introduced me to this kind of stuff. We did it with our compound bows, and since then we've translated it to our crossbows. It's worked really well. It's helped a lot of people out. So as always, Troy, thank you for all the awesome information you put out on your channel. All right, let's revisit the setup really quick. Again, you guys, for this, we're gonna be shooting through a piece of paper. You just need a piece of paper held tight. Doesn't matter how you hold it tight, as long as it's tight. And again, make sure that that piece of paper is at least a full arrow length and maybe a little extra away from your bag target or whatever target you're using. You want to make sure the arrow can completely pass through the piece of paper before it hits the target. If it can't, remember, it'll wiggle around. If it's still in the paper and it wiggles hitting the target, it's going to give you bad tears and false data. Again, you want to be about 5 to 7 yards away shooting through that piece of paper. For arrows, guys, we're going to be using a fresh pack of KI Hyper arrows. These are 390 grains with a 100 grain field point. I haven't done anything to them. Reason we're using them, these are brand new. I've had them in my barn for a little bit, and they've got easy to remove nocks, so we can remove and twist these easy. We couldn't on those other ones. Remember, those were glued in. So that's what we've got for a setup. Let's talk about what we're doing when we are nock tuning. So every arrow has, let's just say, a strong side and a weak side. Okay, I've heard strong side, weak side. I've heard strong plane and weak plane. It really doesn't matter. What we're doing is we are moving that strong side and weak side around relative to our rail in 120-degree increments, aka your 3 different fletching positions. So your arrow is going to shoot different depending on where that strong plane and weak plane is relative to your rail. We don't know where it is, but we know that we can shoot through paper. We can use that as an indicator. We can shoot the 3 fletching positions, and then we can pick which one is the best. Some arrows right out of the box, like you guys saw in the other video, they might shoot a perfect bullet hole right away. Awesome. You don't have to do anything to that one. Others are going to give you some goofy tears, and that's because that strong plane, weak plane orientation is less than ideal for your crossbow, or less than ideal relative to the rail. So we can simply twist the nock, shoot a different fletching as the odd fletching down, and see if that fixes it. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to start with this arrow. We're just going to shoot it 3 times, all 3 fletching positions, and let's see which one is the best coming out of our crossbow. All right, guys, we're gonna finish this video up while the owls out here in my backyard are going nuts. Right up there in those pines. All right, so here's what we got. Here's the 3 tears. Now just look at these tears and how much the arrow flight has changed simply by moving the nock into those 3 different positions. So just so you guys know, I put little pen dots on the fletching. So the red fletching, your odd feather, that was number 1. Next 2 and 3. And if we were going to do nothing else to this arrow, I think it's pretty obvious we would stick with the red odd feather down, nock position 1, because that tear is much cleaner than the other 2. This one still maintains that nice 120-degree fletching tear. So this one I would definitely pick over that. And then over here, nock high. This one is more of a T-shaped tear. If we were doing nothing else to this arrow, that's what we would do. We would just stick with the red odd feather. If it was one of the other ones, what I would do is I would just Sharpie a huge arrow on that fletching, just so I know that that is now the one that I'm going to shoot as my odd feather down. All right, you guys, there you go. That is nock tuning. And you guys can see with just this one arrow how different it flies, or how different it launches out of our crossbow, just by changing the 3 different nock positions and shooting it. Again, this is all free. If you were going to do nothing else other than sort and nock tune, you are going to get better performance. Take the best 3. The best 3 after you shoot through paper, after you do some nock tuning, whatever the best 3 arrows are, those are going to be your hunting arrows. The worst 3 arrows, those are gonna be your practice arrows, okay? And those practice arrows are totally fine to practice with. Even if that practice arrow is tearing kind of crappy through that piece of paper, it's very easy for your arrow to correct field point flight downrange to your target. So you're gonna be able to shoot sight in practice. That's gonna all be just fine. Where this really comes in handy is when you're shooting broadheads. Fixed blades especially, because when you attach a wing instead of a field point on there, that erratic flight like that we're capturing through this piece of paper, that will just be exaggerated downrange and you're gonna get really crappy broadhead flight. You want those ones that are printing bullet holes or close to bullet holes, the ones that you put your broadheads on. That goes for expandables too. They are not the same profile as a field point, so this will help your expandable broadhead flight as well. So guys, thank you for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope this helped you out, because when I saw this from Troy Fowler on the Ranch Fairy YouTube channel, I did it with my compound bow, then I did it with my crossbow. It has helped me out a ton. So again, thank you, Troy. And you guys, if you liked this video, please do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe. So we'll see you guys on the next one. Remember, be a sportsman, make a sportsman.